Right ho, here we go everybody. Max Lines and Lucy. Say hello to everybody, Lucy. Woo! My name's Lucy. And yeah, our beautiful little long-haired chihuahua, great company for anybody who is living alone. I really recommend a beautiful little doggy like this. Anyway, let's have a look here. We've got to keep an eye on the time. And as we seem to be running at these videos, the camera lasts about 6 or 7 minutes, so it'll be about a 6 or 7 minute video. Now this is about early influences in my life in art, and I'd like you to consider what are the influences in your life concerning art right now, and what do you look at, and what could be the key to perhaps inspiring your children with artwork. Now this is important, and I would like to share with you about early influences in my childhood and what inspired me to get interested in art. I had a lot of influences in the area of music when I was young, because my dad, he did play guitar, although we never heard him play a lot, and he yodeled. He also was in the New Zealand Air Force band as an entertainer. I saw photos of that, but we didn't hear a lot of him singing at home. This was kind of prior to him marrying my mum. But also my mother played piano, and I clearly remember her playing piano. And when I learnt an instrument called a cornet and in a brass band at about the age of 5 or 6, I started really early. Didn't I, Lucy? Bet you'd love to play the cornet. And Mum sometimes accompanied me on the piano. I remember a song, Roses of Picardy, played that one. But anyway, Mum also was a very big fan. I'll have to put Lucy down. You can go down and eat your doggy biscuits now. Mum was a very big fan of an artist, New Zealand artist by the name of Peter McIntyre. Peter McIntyre lived in Wellington a lot of his life, as I understand it, and had 2 children, a wife. He was the official New Zealand war artist. Now Mum had these books, and she's handed them down to me prior to her passing, and I still have a number of Peter McIntyre's books. In fact, I have a couple that are signed by Peter McIntyre, so it's very special. I don't have any of Peter's artwork. I should really say the late Peter McIntyre, because Peter's passed away. So as a young boy, I clearly remember getting these books out. They were very special. They were expensive. We didn't have a lot of money as a family, and they were kind of precious, you know. Well, they still are. But these are the sort of pictures that I used to sit and look at, and they influenced me as a young boy. And I understood they were painted in oil paint. I'm just going to show you some as I'm talking to you, and keep an eye on the time. And early New Zealand scenes. This is the cow shed in New Zealand. Peter seemed to have a great gift of capturing emotion, if you like, emotion, and the feeling of that early New Zealand in the 1950s. And his sketches, as you can see from here, his sketches, he had a beautiful way of, I think it's ink, of doing scenes with a little fine ink pen. And I love these books. I regularly still look at these books. I find them incredibly inspirational. I think a lot of his paintings were painted with a knife, and he did a lot of plein air. That means he went out to the scene and sat down and painted many of these paintings. Peter was also a great author. These little commentaries on these books, that's skiing in these early days. I think that's one down in Queenstown, and there are quite a few Queens. So that's his 2 children looking out over the river there. He also did many good painting pieces with Maori folk in it, Maori families, sharing. Maori's working in the sherry shed. A lot of those early days of Maori people in New Zealand. Rivers, where's that? That's a Rangitikei River. That was close to where I was brought up. That, of course, was a lot of interest to me, the white cliffs of the Rangitikei River near Taihape. So, sitting down and looking at Peter McIntyre's books, and I was fascinated, and Mum absolutely loved these oil paintings. We only had the books, as I said, we never had the oil paintings. I think Mum did purchase an oil painting later from a local artist or two. But Mum was very intrigued and always inspired me to, you know, she inspired me because she got these books into our home, and I used to sit and many hours and look at these and think about oil painting. And about the age of 18, might have been younger, might have been 15, I brought some oil paints and did my first oil painting. I still have that oil painting after all these years. I've been very transient, but remarkably it's been, you know, kept in storage here, there and everywhere, in my family members and places, and I still have that, and I will show you that on the next video. So that's an introduction of early influences. It's important. What you look at is very important. What you meditate on, what you think about. And that can influence your children as well if you have young children. So if you want to be an artist, I would recommend too that you look at good art, really good quality art. And because in today's world, Google, wow, there's a million, 100 million, billion pieces of art on Google. And landscapes and all sorts, and you can sit there and you can absorb it and enjoy it. I think art is made to be enjoyed. I enjoy having a painting on the wall. This is a painting that I have done behind me, and I'll talk more about that in another video. But these things, you know, they can bring a lot of peace. They can bring a great feeling. Just sitting there, having a cup of tea, enjoying a good piece of artwork can be very, very uplifting. And if you're an art lover and appreciate work, if you're a collector, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, I hope you might develop that in your life so that you'll appreciate art and appreciate, you know, the creation and the creation of art. So thank you for listening, and I will be back soon in another video. Please do come back. I will be talking about motivation and being creative and so on in videos. Please do subscribe, please give me a like, send me a comment, I'll try and answer all the comments, and join my channel, join me on this art journey, and I hope you've enjoyed what I have shared today, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you, bye bye.